Hey, how you doing? It's Clayton here from howtodrawcomics.net and the How to Draw Comics Academy. In this lesson, we are going to be taking a look at how to draw the male figure complete with the full muscle structure, the pecs, the abdominal muscles, and the legs and the arms and all the muscles that consist within those limbs from the front view. So you're going to get the full lowdown of exactly how the anatomy of the human body fits together and why it's so important that we learn how to draw it accurately. Without further ado, let's jump straight into it. We'll start at the top with the face. Okay, so I'm going to draw in the eyes. Now, I'm just going to drop a little line down, a small distance from the brow line, and that's going to be our eye line. The eyes roughly sit at the halfway point between the top and the bottom of the head. So we're going to draw in some eyes there. And then we've got the nose, which is going to sit at this little point that we marked out earlier. Then we got the mouth. Now the mouth is going to be found in terms of its positioning by dividing up the distance between the bottom of the nose through to the chin into thirds. And on the first third, that's where we're going to find the mouth. Okay, let's talk about the neck. Now the neck is going to have two bands of muscle that run down from the bottom of the ear and into the center of the collarbone. It's going to look a little bit like this. We're going to place in another little angular line that creates somewhat of a triangle shape up from the base of the collarbone, from the top of the collarbone, and into the base of that neck muscle that we just laid in. So next, we're going to lay in the bottom of the pecs. Now remember that the nipples are going to sit here on the 2 head mark. Just going to draw one nipple there and another nipple here. Now that we got the nipples established, we'll place in the base of the pecs and we're going to angle up the following line from the outer edge of the pec and into the middle. And then we're going to angle it up again and create a nice division that separates those pecs. Next up, we've got the shoulders. Now the shoulders are comprised of 3 muscles when you're looking at them from the side. So this is a side view of the shoulders, and they're broken up into 3 major muscle groups that are all encompassed as the deltoids. So from the front, we're going to see 1, just draw that in nice and lightly at first, get it established, then go back over the top of it to define it. Then we're going to have the outer one, and we're not going to see the division behind that separates the back deltoid from the rest, since we're looking at the body from the front here. We're going to jump back to the torso and we're going to lay in the abdominal muscles before we continue on with the arms. So we start at the top here with, I like to think of this as one of the underside sections of the ribs. We can go ahead here and start to draw out the abs underneath it. I'm going to take out the side of the first set of abs from the bottom of the outer edge of the arch and then into the middle. And now here's what's interesting. We're going to place down another rib that's going to ladder in just underneath that first set of abs on the outer edge. We're going to hook it up on either side. And then from that point, we're going to draw in the second set of abs. And this is about where the belly button will sit too, at the 3 head mark. Next, we've got the, I guess you would call this the serratus. And they're going to tuck in up against the lateral muscles that we're going to see popping out to say hello from the back. Okay, and we're going to add a little bit more on here for those lateral muscles. So I'm going to build them out like that. Now what next? Well, then we've got the obliques. Okay, and the obliques run down from, I guess, the serratus and into the top of the pelvis at that belt line. Before we move down further, we're going to jump back up to the arms here and fill out the muscles in those sections. So we've got the biceps, which we get a really good look at from the front. And then we've got the forearms here. Now the forearms, this is where we're going to get to see a little bit more action happening. We're going to get this radiobrachialis. I hope I'm getting that name right. And we're going to bring that down to here. And there's also another major forearm muscle on the opposite side, which we've already basically placed down in there. So what about the legs then? Well, the legs, this is where we're going to have to do a little bit more work. We start off where the obliques are. Okay, so that's, I'm going to draw a little dot here at the bottom of the oblique. The reason I'm doing that is because there's a long band-like muscle that runs down from about this point into the legs. It's going to follow this curvaceous trajectory down and around the quads, which you can see me outlining there. So that's the line that we're placing down now. We're going to do it on both sides. The inner quad is going to sit lower than the outer quad. And then we're going to bring that one back up to about here, and then we're going to stop. I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side. And then from that point, we're going to jump up to the top of the leg, so the very tippy top, and we're going to draw in another shape. And this is going to be the top quad. At least I've referred to it as the top quad. I'm sure they all have proper names, but I refer to it as the top quad. And from there, we draw out the side of the knees, and you'll notice that they kind of look like skulls. So now we've got the calves that are going to peek in around the front, sitting around the shin. And that really completes the front view of the male figure and all the muscles that it entails. I want to thank you again so much for joining me in this lesson where we learned how to draw up the male figure in the front view and place all the anatomy in on top. We started with the mannequin model where we got the base structure down, ensured that it was properly proportioned, that the symmetry was spot on, or at least as spot on as we could make it, before adding in the anatomy on top, the individual muscle groups that make up the human body. We went step by step through the entire process. What I want you to do going forward is to repeat the process so many times that you become 100% familiar with it and that you know it off by heart, because that's what learning anatomy is all about. That's how you get good, is practice. There's no easy way to say it. I can't just show you this stuff once and you're going to be able to remember it and you're going to be able to execute it perfectly. Unfortunately, it's going to take a few goes around, just like with any other skill that you set out to learn. But isn't that a wonderful thing that you can, just through repetition, master something? That's what you're going to be doing as you move forward and become a master of comic book illustration in general, because anatomy is a really big part of that. Until next time, keep on drawing, keep on practicing, and I'll catch you in the next session. Bye-bye for now.